Good morning, welcome to the borrowers. I'm here with Doris Herrera Pol from the World Bank. Doris, good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you, Richard.
Doris, how has the Eurozone crisis affected the World Bank's funding over the last 12 months?
I think what has happened is with all the market turmoil, our securities have benefited from flight to quality. So we've had overwhelming demand for our bond issues, with new investors added to our investor base and much more diversified funding program in terms of currencies, maturities, and structures as a result of the flight to quality. We are about to complete our fiscal year 2012 funding program, and we would have raised by the end of June now about $40 billion US dollar equivalent at very attractive funding terms, again as a result of the tremendous support that our securities have received in this market.
With the Eurozone crisis set to continue, I think it's fair to say, what are your views for the next 12 months? I mean, do you think there will be a similar flight to quality? Do you see more funding options in different currencies, different countries?
Yeah, that's a question that we are grappling with as we prepare our funding program and strategy for next year. You know that as a result of the 2008 financial crisis, we stepped up our funding because we needed to provide increased support to our member clients. In fact, they needed more financing for their development programs. So over the course of the ensuing 3 years, from 2008 or 2009 to 2011, we raised over $100 billion in funding. And a question is, will we have to do something similar, step up our lending, thus our funding in the capital markets? Right now, we envisage that we will need to raise at least $30 billion, but we'll have to keep a close eye on what happens with the global economy to fine-tune our funding needs and our program.
You mentioned when we were talking before about emerging markets. I know you've done you've done a number of issues in Africa and other currencies. Is that something you see set to continue over the next few years?
We have seen, particularly over the last 2 years, very strong investor interest in diversifying their currency exposure. And when I mentioned the number of African currencies that we have borrowed in, like Nigerian Naira, Zambian Kwacha, Botswana Pula, this has been driven by the interest of investors of diversifying exposure to emerging markets, or what is they're called now some of the frontier markets, right? So yes, we expect that will continue. In fact, the bank has raised funding in over 55 different currencies in its history, and just this year alone, I think we are already present with issuance in over 20 different countries or currencies.
Very, very exciting times. And just a few words on the global borrowers. Are you happy to be here again? Because I know you were here last year and all of that.
Happy to be here. In fact, I've been attending for over 15 years.
You must have been about 3 years old when you came.
And for me, this is the forum, the conference to take the pulse of the fixed income markets. When you come here, you get a very good feel for what are participants' concerns, what is everyone doing about the burning issues, what are the possible outcomes. So I wouldn't miss it for anything.
I'm very glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.